Starting off the day with Axie Infinity, let's see what's going on. So, first of all, we talked about this in the last video, but I do think the price action is going to be very boring until the Fed meeting's done. If you're new to the channel, we talked about this before, but the Fed meeting should be wrapped up on the 4th of May. So, within the next 24 to 48 hours, I'm of the opinion that confidence is going to re-enter the markets, and we will see a rally potentially that could see something like this, Bitcoin dumping before the Fed meeting and then rising out of it. And then I would assume, you know, your Axie Infinities, your SLPs, your other altcoins will soon get out of this as well. Your oscillators are completely oversold right now. So your oscillators being your money flow indicator and the RSI, they're both extremely oversold right now. But the RSI is you know, coming down literally at 26 right now. So very, very undersold what we're seeing right now. We recently bottomed at 20, and yeah, we haven't been that low on the RSI. We have had this amount of money flow out the market before, but yeah, this is really low for Axie, and you know, it would be really good if we started turning around at some point soon. Like I said, coming into the Fed meeting, I really do just think the next 48 hours, 24 to 48 hours are going to be very boring. So after this Fed meeting's done, I'd really like to see Axie, you know, pump out of here. But in the meantime, we really do need to hold this $29 region. So in my opinion, $29, absolutely keep your eye on it. If we start pushing below there on the daily, then we could be pretty screwed, because as you can see here, you know, we're literally running off your most your local high before we started this bull run for Axie. I don't think even if we draw to the candle body close that you're above your 786. No, you're not. So I mean, technically it's not really looking too good for Axie from a technical perspective. On the weekly time frame, this entire uptrend has been invalidated. However, I do just think this could be a potential fake out on a lot of the altcoins. But you know, to be able to tell whether this is a fake out or not, we need to keep our eyes on what happens after the Fed meeting is done. Like I said, I think a lot of confidence is going to re-enter the market after the Fed meeting, but that does not mean that all altcoins will make it. So really keep your eyes on 29. I think if we just start landsliding before the Fed meeting, like we start breaking down and taking out these lows, then I'm not so sure that the Fed meeting would have a super bullish impact on Axie Infinity. And from a technical perspective as well, let's look at your momentum indicators. I like what we're seeing on the 4 hour. You know, the bearish momentum is really starting to subside. We are coming very, very close to your short-term moving average. So it would be very nice to get a continuation pump just above $31.50. You know, I'm not asking for an incredible rally, you know, another 4 or 5% or so. Like I said, I honestly don't think this is going to be happening before the Fed meeting. Everything is just chopping to the side and to the downside. You can already see we had the sell-off coming into the week of the Fed meeting. At this moment in time, we're kind of just chopping to the side. So I would really sit on the sidelines for this one. I don't think there's going to be much to see for Axie Infinity or SLP or most of the other altcoins until this Federal Reserve meeting is done. So that is all I've got for Axie Infinity. If you did want a bullish breakout, then, you know, we're not going to see it until you start moving above $31.50. We would need to start very strongly pushing above that region. If we don't hop above there within the next, I'd say 48 hours, because, you know, moving this over to the 5th of May, we should be rallying by the 5th of May. This is my prediction, because like I said, confidence has exited the market on the news of the Fed meeting, and I really think we're just going to be chopping to the side until this Fed meeting is wrapped up. So I do expect a pump to be coming for Axie Infinity within the next 48 hours. I'm specifically looking for these 4-hourly EMAs to get flipped. Let's see if we've ever had a fake out on them since the downtrend. So since $75, which technically is not the all-time high, so you know, we're really focusing on, you know, you've got this big macro downtrend, then we've got a clearly micro bullish mark up, and then this is where the downtrend started and you've got a mark down. So I consider the most recent downtrend to have started from around about the $75 vicinity, and since then the 4-hourly EMAs have perfectly defined the downtrend. Every time we start to pump for Axie Infinity, you can see, you know, sometimes we very gently poke our head above these EMA ribbons, get a rejection. We need something like this, where we get a break above, you back test them, and then you flip them. You start moving to the upside. Until that happens, I feel like it might just be best to be sitting on the sideline, because, you know, the price is $30 right now. If you just, you know, looked at these EMA ribbons and imagined, you know, we're not bullish until we get back above these. Clearly the downtrend is defining these 4-hourly EMAs as the resistance that we're facing. You would have just been sitting on the sidelines since $75. So, you know, in theory, we have that bullish breakout coming into the Fed meeting. We rally, we pump above $35, and you buy the bullish retest of $35 before we break out. Is that terrible considering we've just dumped from $75? Or is it terrible considering, you know, in the macro term we've dumped from 166? I don't think so. So I'm going to be sitting on the sidelines to the Fed meeting. It is pretty much going to be the same for most of these altcoins. It is going to be boring while we're going into the Fed meeting. People sold into this and people are just waiting until the Fed news is done. That's all I've got for Axie Infinity. Once again, keep your eyes on 31.5, a strong push above there, and then you'd be looking at around about the $35 region to backtest these 4-hourly EMAs and then get out of here. Specifically, you know, if we come up here in the next 24 hours or so, it'll be at $34.32. Bear in mind, these are the 4-hourly EMAs. The price target will change basically every single 4-hourly candle. So I'd recommend to not get extremely euphoric until you do see us breaking above the $35. Until then, it is going to be a chop season. That is all I've got for Axie. Once again, not financial advice. Cowboy out, and as always, peace.